3 months ago, I started building a long-term investment portfolio publicly on this channel. The idea was simple: save aggressively, invest consistently, and document the process. By now, the plan was to reach about 10k invested, and currently I'm around 9k. My main ETF is actually down around 2% since I started buying. And during these 3 months, I also noticed one investing habit that might actually be hurting my returns. But I'll come back to that in a minute. If you are new here, the idea of this channel is simple. I'm building a long-term investment portfolio step by step and sharing the process. Mostly ETFs and the smaller part individual companies. The target allocation is roughly 80% ETFs and 20% stocks. And from now, I'll share a portfolio update every month so we can see how the portfolio evolves. So where are we after 3 months? Total invested this year is around 9k. About 6k is in ETFs and a bit over 3k is in individual stocks which I hold through eToro. The original plan said 10k by now, so I'm a little behind. But overall, the structure of the portfolio still follows the plan. And I should also say, the saving goals are quite ambitious. You definitely don't need to invest this much for the strategy to work. Even 100 euros or 300 per month invested consistently can make a huge difference over time. At this stage, the most important thing is simply building the habit of investing consistently. The core of the portfolio is just 2 ETFs, accumulating ETF, which tracks the S&P 500, and again accumulating ETF, which tracks the global market. Together, they form the long-term foundation of the portfolio. Since I started buying, performance has actually been pretty flat. S&P is roughly down 2% since the beginning of the year, and global ETF is only slightly positive. Which is a good reminder that first few months of investing often looks quite uneventful. And honestly, boring is usually fine in the long-term game. For the stock part of the portfolio, I transferred about 3k to eToro this year. In an earlier video, I talked about what I call the moonshot part of the portfolio. The idea there is to invest in 4 areas that I believe could shape the next decade: quantum computing, AI infrastructure, defense autonomy, and healthcare innovations. Some of the companies I bought fall into those themes, and I'll show the list here on the screen, but I won't read all of them. If you are curious, you can see the exact positions of my eToro profile and follow along there. 3 months in, a few things are already clear. The first one, saving the money is actually harder than investing it. Choosing ETF is easy. Consistently freeing up thousands of euros to invest, that's the real discipline. And this actually connects to something I want to talk about in the future video, the FIRE concept, or financial independence. Because the core idea there is simply increasing the gap between what you earn and what you spend and investing the difference. The second thing, I actually noticed this about how I invest the money. Right now, I'm buying ETFs in tranches, meaning I invest in chunks when I feel the timing makes sense. But it also introduces hesitation, and I'm starting to think that fully automating those purchases might actually be smarter. Just invest regularly and remove the decision entirely. And the habit I mentioned earlier, the one that might actually be hurting returns is this. I kept a bit of cash on the side because markets felt uncertain. It sounds cautious, but if I'm honest, that's basically trying to time the market. And historically, that's a very difficult game to win. So that's something I'll probably adjust going forward. The goal is now simple. Keep building the ETF core, keep adding capital consistently, and let time do the work. The next milestone is 20k invested by the end of Q2. But first, we should hopefully cross 10k or even get closer to 12k in the next month. And I'll continue sharing the journey here with monthly portfolio updates as the portfolio grows.